Good afternoon. Today's hearing of the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship will come to order. Thank you all for being here and welcome to our witnesses. I also want to thank Chairman Rubio for letting me take the gavel today. Today's hearing is titled Examining SBA's Office of Disaster Assistance and the Response to Recent Catastrophic Floods. It will discuss SBA's disaster programs and their footprint in response to the recent flooding in the Midwest. We will also continue our work to reauthorize the Small Business Act, focusing today on the critical role SBA's Office of Disaster Assistance plays in helping individuals and businesses recover after a disaster strikes. In my home state of Iowa, widespread flooding has had a devastating impact, causing an estimated $1.6 billion in damage in Iowa alone, with even more damage reported across the Midwest. Although the flooding began in March, this is an ongoing disaster as a wet spring has led to further flooding in areas where the water was beginning to recede. To make matters worse, the flooding throughout much of western Iowa is deja vu for many of the victims, as some of these same communities were affected by widespread flooding in 2011. Thankfully, as folks begin to rebuild their homes and neighborhoods, they will be aided by the disaster supplemental package that was signed into law earlier this month, which included my amendment for USDA to cover the loss of on-farm stored grain. While this is just one step in the recovery, it will help victims of the flooding to get back on their feet. During my visits to the disaster areas, I have seen firsthand the devastating impact the flooding had on our small businesses and have met with a number of business owners about the challenges they are facing. Many of these folks were just recovering from flooding this spring before finding their businesses underwater yet again this month. The SBA's Office of Disaster Assistance has played an essential role in the recovery effort by providing services and counseling to our small business owners, but it is important that we continually assess these programs to ensure they are providing effective and timely assistance to the victims. The disaster assistance programs provided by the SBA allow victims of a disaster to receive direct loans and working capital for physical damage or economic injury. Homeowners, renters, and businesses of all sizes can apply for SBA disaster assistance in presidentially declared or SBA-declared disaster areas. There are three types of loans that are offered by the Office of Disaster Assistance. These are home and personal property disaster loans, business physical disaster loans, and economic injury disaster loans. Many are unaware that the SBA gives loans to not just businesses, but also to homeowners and physical property owners after disasters. In fact, over 80% of SBA's disaster loans are given to individuals and homeowners through home and personal property disaster loans, which contain two categories of loans. The first is personal property loans, which provide up to $40,000 to uninsured or underinsured individuals to repair or replace their property at their primary residence for items such as appliances and furniture. The second is real property loans, which allow homeowners who are uninsured to obtain up to $200,000 to restore their primary property to its pre-disaster status. Next, business physical disaster loans can provide loans up to $2 million to businesses of all sizes to repair or replace damaged property, equipment, or inventory. Finally, small businesses can receive up to $2 million in working capital through SBA's economic injury disaster loans to aid small businesses that have suffered economic losses from the disaster. These programs have helped homeowners and small businesses alike. However, according to the SBA Inspector General, SBAs continue to have issues delivering expedited relief to disaster victims while mitigating fraud and improper payments. It is important that as we look to reauthorize the Small Business Act, we remain focused on ensuring we are protecting taxpayer dollars while keenly assisting our communities. I hope today's discussion will be a productive step toward improving the federal government's response to disasters, including these catastrophic floods, and shed some light on how we can enhance the integral role SBA plays in helping survivors get back on their feet and on with their lives. And with that, thank you again. Senator Cardin, I'll turn it to you.
Well,